And we are back with Hannibal and Pedro. So, God damn it. I'm keeping it. I'm not going to even kick it out.
Hannibal and Pedro, I like it. Let's go.
You know what? It doesn't matter, but for algorithm's sake, the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. Welcome back. I'm with my good friend and homie, Pedro. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. We in the building. We got some hot topics today. I hope you guys are ready. I'm ready. I know Hannibal's ready. Let's get going, man. I'm good, bro.
We have so much to talk about that we were talking before we went on air. Like, we may not even finish all the topics that we want to talk about because we know how we can get long-winded and rambly, but it's a lot of good topics.
Who, us? Me and you? Nah, bro. What are you talking about? We don't talk.
Yeah, we're really short.
We don't have opinions here.
Yeah, there are going to be some opinions flying out, so be prepared. But before I even talk to you about this, but what you been listening to? When you're driving, last week, like, you've been listening to anything interesting, hip hop, or even, it doesn't really matter. Like, what you've been listening to in your car as you've been doing your thing. I know you do other stuff, record. What are you listening to?
So, I listened to the Grateful Dead today, man. It's funny you bring that up. I know, right? I'm not a deadhead, as they call it, or anything like that. But today I was doing like rideshare. I was like, I want a different kind of vibe in my car. I'm picking people up, and a lot of that music is just like chill and mellow, and the guitars are good, and like. It's just a different. I was like, well, I'm going to give it a try. I've heard some of their stuff before. So I was listening to that today. Nice. But before that, I listened to the last couple of weeks. I listened to more of that Pusha T album we talked about a few weeks back. Because some people I saw Tom Brady said something about it was the greatest album of the year, too. I'm like, Tom Brady, what are you talking about, dude? Like, so I started listening to that again. Really, that's it. Yeah. I mean, I haven't had a lot of time to listen to whole albums. I've been listening to like little singles and listening to a little DMX this week, actually. Listened to a little bit of Puff Daddy, P. Diddy and the Family album. So those are the 4 or 5 things I've listened to in the last couple of weeks. So pretty generic. Yeah.
The one group that I've been listening to, and this is old school. I guess I'm still stuck in the 90s. You know the duo Camp Lo?
Oh, yes. Camp Lo. Oh, yeah.
Right? Lucy, this is it.
This is it. What? They had
a lot of really good songs, and I was just going down. You know how Spotify and Apple Music. Once you listen to a few, they just keep hitting you.
Yeah,
they worked with a lot of people. Like they're from the Bronx. Came out, and I just looked up 1995.
I was a freshman in high school when that song came out. I remember, man. Like that was.
He's legit, like one of those duos. You're thinking like, wow, they didn't really get on as. It didn't become as popular as other rap acts, but they've worked with a lot of people. With De La Soul, with Pete Rock. I mean, they had Will Smith. I know they had a track with Will Smith and Big Willie Stop when he was.
I'll leave him alone this week.
Yeah, you leave him alone this week. But I mean, if anyone's interested, check out Camp Lo. And then the cool thing about that song, This Is It, Lucini, they were not rhyming. They were not rhyming. There was no rhymes. They were just spitting, and it just worked for some reason.
Yeah.
It was pretty. I don't know. That was in my car probably 85% of the time.
That's a great. I forgot about that, but I remember that, dude. That the beat and just like it was good. And I don't even really know anything about them beyond that, to be honest. I had the album, but I don't know if they made a second or third, but I remember that track, man. That was a big deal.
They have some stuff, and they have a few albums. Check them out. They had a really good song, Bubbling, that they used Anita Baker's Caught Up as a sample. Beautiful, man.
I love Anita Baker. My dad used to listen to Anita Baker, and
she's amazing. Man.
She's amazing at every level, man. Like, such a beautiful woman, beautiful voice. I mean, yeah, Anita Baker. We could probably do a whole R&B podcast as well.
Oh yeah, we're
gonna have to get into that.
Maybe hopefully we get some women and check us out. Because we for everybody. But I guess last thing I want to talk about of that, why we like the 90s, the samples was from the 70s, and they had like the greatest, soul singers, R&B singers, jazz musicians. Like, they had like such a strong base. So when they sampled stuff from the 90s, it was basically from the 70s and 80s. It was just brilliant music because they already had great samples in there. So I don't know, that's my recommendation. Check out Camp Lo.
Like it.
So We're gonna talk about some NBA now. I'm sure you guys have checked out lots of the summer league stuff. I've been checking out some games, mostly some highlights. Looking at that tall, skinny guy, Chet.
It's a summer league, but he looks legit. He's a bucket, bro.
He's a bucket.
That kid, he's a bucket. He blocks. He plays. He's playing on every end of the floor, both ends. He's got the 3 ball. I mean, he's a bucket.
He's good. I like good. Him. Pablo, forgot his last name from the Magic. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he only played a couple of games, and they said, "All right, you're good. We're sitting you down. We don't want you to get hurt."
What are they fighting for? What are they gonna do? I like Wiseman. I think Golden State's gonna repeat. That guy I don't know if you saw some of his highlights. The bro, he's definitely 7'1", 250. He's
played Memphis, but he only played a couple games in Memphis. Remember, something happened at Memphis. I don't know if he got in trouble. He only played a couple games. He was a big recruit. Yeah. And Memphis landed him. I think Penny Hardaway did. And he only played a game or two. And so he didn't really have a college career. But
I think the one worry is the injury factor.
Yeah.
But if he could stay healthy, I don't know, man.
Adding him to a championship team, can you imagine?
This is the new generation. I know you like it. 7-footers hitting 3-pointers. Like
I don't mind it.
I know you don't.
The skill set. I mean, this is how these guys are playing the AAU ball, and they're hitting to stretch 5. I mean, that's
he looked confident when he shot it. It wasn't set thing. He was like and I'm like, damn.
I feel like the Chet Holmgren, I guess, or whatever, from the Thunder. They got a nice young squad. That Josh Giddey kid, he's 19 years old, the point guard. Yeah. He's got game, man.
Yeah. That's gonna be a fun team to check out.
Yeah. I think the Thunders, what they've done is they got rid of all their superstars over the last few years, and they stockpiled draft picks. And this is what you get. Now the West is loaded, so these young guys are gonna take their bumps. Okay, they're not gonna make the playoffs this year. I doubt that, but they have a really bright future. And I think the Thunder set up. There's still many pieces away, but I mean, they're on the up and coming, I think, with these young guys. So.
Which is great. I mean, I'm really seems like it's going to be a pretty good draft class. I got some really decent players coming out. And just, like you were saying, championships, trying to get a good team together. The super team thing, we don't know how that's going to pan out. They still haven't traded Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm. I think it looks like it's going to be a little bit difficult to do that because what the Nets want for Durant, I don't know who is able to provide that for them. Yeah. But you have some players that, great players, maybe top 15, at least in their positions. Damian Lillard, he decides to sign an extension for, I think, 2-3 years. He's making a ton of money.
I think he signed an extension another 2 years for like $100 and something million.
Crazy.
Like 113 for 2 years. Like I was like, what is happening?
I don't understand the money anymore. It's just so crazy. And then Bradley Beal decides to sign a mega contract.
St. Louis boy.
And that's the conversation that we'll have right now in terms of loyalty, I guess, versus trying to get a championship. It seems like Damian Lillard is a loyalty guy. He said that he doesn't want to try to vote somewhere else to get a winning team, get a ring. Bradley Beal, I don't think anyone asked him. I think we all kind of realized that, he just wanted the money, but maybe there's no way the Wizards, there's no way they're going to win anything. Like, I don't even know. Is Bradley Beal and who else?
Who else is on that team? I mean, there's nobody significant. Oh no, they got some play. They got a couple guys. They got one guy maybe. Kuzma. They got Kyle Kuzma.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
They got Kyle Kuzma. And the Wizards, they were better last year than they were the year before when they had Westbrook, which was odd, maybe not.
Yeah,
but the record was better. They played better. They were in the playoff hunt at some point in the year. But yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like these guys are making so much money. And you can't hate on that. Like, hey, they want to pay you an extra $100+ million for 2 more years. It's hard to turn that down.
Of course not.
These guys they're not young guys anymore. So they're looking like, okay, I'm going to maximize my financial situation so I can have generational wealth for years and years for my family. And so I get that part. Like, I mean, I understand it, but where do you weigh it out? Your loyalty versus your legacy. right? Do you want your legacy to be your loyalty? Because, okay, well, I could probably stay here, make a lot of money. My chances of winning a chip with the Wizards and the Trailblazers is very low, less than 1%, right? It's not going to happen. But there is some maybe honor or integrity with staying with a team, but at this day and age in the NBA, everybody switches teams, right? Think about how many teams LeBron's been on, James Harden, Kevin Durant, big names in the league, right? But then you've got big names, guys like Lillard, Giannis. I could see Giannis staying with Milwaukee for his whole career. Bradley Beal. You got other big names that are staying. The guy from Denver, Jokic, I could see him staying with Denver. He seems like that kind of guy, right?
Right.
But like, you want to win a championship with the team that maybe drafted you or whatever, but does Lillard really want to be a champion? I don't think he does, because if he did, he would be somewhere else,
Perfect way this. Yeah.
They got to the Western Conference final a couple years ago, but they didn't do anything. So he's never been to the finals. I think he could carry it. He can carry a team as far as to the Western Conference, but you need another guy or two to get you past the hump. And this kind of shows me these guys don't want to win a championship. I mean, no. they just don't. And that's why I feel like guys like LeBron James, guys like maybe even KD, people, we give him crap for ring chasing, but he wants to win a chip. That's part of his legacy. He wants that. He wants those trophies on the shelf, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like some of these other guys really value that as much. And I don't know.
It's, you can look at both sides and Damian Lillard. And when you are a professional anything, but especially an athlete, you kind of, wherever you live, where you play is where you live. So if you have a family, it's hard to uproot the family to move to somewhere else. Some decide just to go, like, okay, I'll keep my family where I spend majority of my career and I'll just travel. But then you're not going to see your kids. The NBA season is long, especially with the playoffs. So you can understand Damian Lillard saying, hey, I don't want to uproot my family. I'm going to stay here. Bradley Beal, maybe the same. I feel like more Bradley Beal just like, wait, you're gonna give me $250 million? I'll just
that
take
much
it.
money. I'll take.
Yeah, I'll just
the
take
money.
it.
Maybe our team gets better and I win one at the end of my career. Like these things are possible.
It's possible.
It happened, but
like you said, Wizards a little better. They do have Kyle Kuzma. Damian Lillard, like CJ McCullough left. So like how are you going to win? And then you're taking a good chunk of money, at least with Harden. Harden said, I'll take less money. Let's try to get some more talent up in here.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, everyone has different values. And they're some values is more about staying there, being loyal. Even though I think the loyalty thing is kind of silly.
Do you think
it's not loyal? They'll take a trade if they want you.
Do you think loyalty is overrated in today's landscape of professional sports?
I would say yes, because business is business. They could dump you in a second without even thinking about it. Especially these billionaires. These billionaires don't become billionaires by being necessarily emotionally attached. I think that's why, like, I'm going a different sport, but Belichick, how he's able to be so strong in his coaching, he makes it a purpose not to get too close to the players, because I think he's basically a GM. If he has to cut you, he doesn't want to have an emotional reaction to it. So that he's not super buddy. Yeah. So I think Damian, he loves the community. He doesn't care about winning a championship, and that's okay. It's kind of sad. You wish, like, man, you could. And I guess he probably thinking I could bring people to Portland. I don't know if Portland is a kind of a destination that people want to go.
I don't feel like it's a big free agent. I mean, Carmelo went there a couple of years ago, but nobody wanted Carmelo. So he went there, kind of revived back his career a little bit, and then he went to what? OKC anyway. And then
he bounced around.
And then he bounced around, but like he did okay with Portland. I think he came off the bench. He did good. But yeah, it's not a destination, and it really never has been. The Blazers haven't been to the finals since '92 when they played the Bulls and lost. They had Drexler and Terry Porter and Kevin Dunkworth. Like they had like nobody. They had Drexler. Yeah, but they haven't done anything since then, right?
Yeah, they have to draft. We have to draft well. You got to draft well and make a winning team, but then hopefully people will stick around.
Right.
But I don't see it happening. None of the free agents went to Portland. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if they even had the cap space, but in terms of free agency, which teams you felt like got stronger? I don't know. I still think like me personally, I think it hasn't shaken out yet. In terms of where KD and Kyrie are going to go, that's going to kind of shift the balance.
Those are the big chips.
Yeah, so like we're right now like a team like that did some free agent moves. You're like, okay, this is a solid team. They're going to able to do something in the playoffs.
Boston, they signed the guard from the Pacers, and I think that's a big. He's going to fit into
a real point guard.
Yeah, Smart's defensive. I mean, he's a defensive guy. He's not a traditional point guard, in my opinion, but they got stronger at a position where they needed a little bit. And I think that's going to help them. He's going to Malcolm Brogdon, I think his name is, and he's going to fit in defensively with what they like to do because their defense is big in Boston, and he's not a slouch on offensive end, so I think it takes a little pressure off Brown and Tatum. Guy that can come in, you plug in, he can play. He's been around he's young, but he's not old, or he's not like old, but he's not young. He's been in the league for a little bit. I think that's a big signing. I think the team that will do the best is a team that says no to giving up too much for like a Kyrie or, I think the Lakers should dump Westbrook. If the Lakers could get Kyrie and get Westbrook off the books, the Lakers win free agency. That's if that happens. I think whatever team gets Kevin Durant, as long as they don't give up everything, the whole team and the whole next 10 years of draft picks, I think that team wins. But it's going to be hard because Kevin Durant is a top 3 player in the league. Some would say he's top 2, so maybe even 1. He's top 3 though. You ask anybody in the league, he's probably top 3, right? And that's a big deal. So whoever lands him, and I saw today the Nets, their main priority is to get rid of Durant before Kyrie. I don't know if I misread that, but that's what I saw today. Like they would, and that's a little surprising to me, but I think KD's just so unhappy. And it's.
I wonder if that's just a way, these a lot of like tactics a lot of these GMs are doing. Like, actually, it would be easier to move Kyrie. It's 1 year. Yeah. And like I said, but I think Nets want more than just giving up Westbrook because you put Westbrook on the Nets, they're not. I don't think a playoff team. I think that's it. Like so you're gonna have Ben Simmons, and what are they gonna do other than make me upset?
No shot. You got two out of your starting 5 can't shoot the
shoot
literally they can't shoot. Like Ben Simmons, you could see. I see him in like runs at Rico Hines and stuff. And Ben Simmons is balling out. He's shooting, but that's at a gym versus like guys that maybe played in the college, like nobody, and they're not playing defense. You step into the NBA under the lights. Ben Simmons doesn't shoot. He can't shoot the ball.
But Ben Simmons is still a better player right now than Westbrook. Like Ben can still score as long as he's,
you think Ben Simmons is better than I think Russell Westbrook right now is a better basketball player than Ben Simmons.
Really?
That's my opinion. Yes. I think Russell Westbrook.
Because I feel like Ben Simmons is a better defender. He's younger, faster at this point.
Look at the numbers.
He has better basketball decisions. Like he can't shoot, but he can pass. I don't know. Can Westbrook pass?
He averaged a triple-double, Hannibal. He could pass.
Patting your stats don't mean you.
I don't know. Stop the Westbrook hate. That's my dude.
That's your guy?
No, he's not my guy. Let me clarify. It's not my guy. But I do like Westbrook for different reasons. I think he went to the Lakers, and I think he's so used to so many years after Kevin Durant left OKC. Westbrook was the man at OKC. They loved him there. They loved, and he did. I mean, he won an MVP. He averaged a triple double that hadn't been done since Oscar Robinson. And then the next year, he followed it up and did the same thing. So the guy can ball, and he has a crazy athleticism. He plays hard. He makes bonehead decisions, but I think sometimes that's his athleticism, thinking he can overcome it. Mm-hmm. And when you play as fast as he does, that's going to happen in a game of basketball because he's real reckless sometimes, and you take the good with the bad. But I think he's a better basketball player than Ben Simmons. Absolutely, I think so.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm basically judging him at the other stops that he's been in. So when he said he played in
Houston,
he bounced around. I think he was in Houston at one point.
Yeah, he went to Houston.
Houston,
and then the Wizards, and then the
Wizards. And I guess a little bit of also he just seemed to say, hey man, I'm really not shooting well. Like he just keeps throwing those bricks, man. So I feel like his mentality is, I'm still the guy that won all the MVP. Like you're not. Like Harden, I think maybe Harden, at least the back of his head, realized I'm not the guy in Houston anymore. Let me take less money. Let's try to get some more help, because I can't do it with me and just, Joel needs more help.
Yeah.
So I just feel like more self-awareness for Westbrook is the reason why I'm probably so anti-Westbrook. And I know eventually he's probably going to be a Brooklyn Net. I'm sure they're going to figure this out. And we got to deal with...
You're going to have Westbrook, Ben Simmons, and I guess some other young guys, because there's going to be multiple... when these trades happen with Durant and or Irving, it's going to be multiple teams involved. It's not going to be like one for one.
Straight up. Yeah.
It's going to be like a third or fourth team even. I've seen a lot of scenarios. You go on social media platforms, YouTube, you go on like TikTok or whatever podcast, you see all these crazy things. I mean, I saw a trade scenario where Anthony Davis and Westbrook go to the Nets. There's a third team involved. There's some draft picks, and then you get Kyrie and Kevin Durant with LeBron James on the Lakers.
Yeah,
like, that's not going to happen. Like, come on, man.
You could do like a trade calculator. Like, there's had some online. Like, hey, how would this work? But I can't keep up.
You shift the salaries and all that. Yeah.
One good news for the Nets that we re-signed Patty Mills, so he can keep talking to Ben Simmons, because they're both from Australia, and
I like Patty Mills. I like Patty Mills.
I like it. He's a solid player.
But he's not a starting. He can start for you, but he's not a guy that's gonna like. He's a complementary piece. He's not a main piece, right? Yeah. Patty Mills is the fourth guy. He's not even a big three. He's a fourth great guy. If he comes off the bench, he's fantastic. Some great years with the Spurs, but he's not the guy that's gonna win you a championship with one other dude. That's not going to happen.
No, not at all. Right now the Brooklyn Nets we have Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and whoever else is going to show. And I'm sure if they're going to do some weird move, Seth Curry, and it's kind of Seth is actually a pretty decent player. He's bouncing around like everything, but pretty solid player. So we'll see. There's a lot of stuff we move around. Actually, let me look real quick. Let me see if there's anything else. I know there's some contract, signings supposed to go through. Restricted free agent DeAndre Ayton, he's still out there. Who knows where he's going to go? Are they going to sign him? Jalen Brunson,
he went to the Knicks. Yeah,
$104 million.
That's ridiculous. That's the money. It's a TV contract.
It's the going rate for a starting point guard.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So, but in our heads, I think we still have this we're in the '90s mentality. Like, only Kevin Garnett gets a $100 million contract. Yeah. Why? Because he was damn near next to Tim Duncan, the next, the best power forward. Like, okay, yeah, and he's 19 or something. Yeah, give him $100 million. But now everyone's getting $100 million. I can't tell who.
It's tough. I mean, it's weird because like I think about it, and I don't think this happens often with the big guys, but I can remember a few names. You mentioned Bill Belichick. So when Tom Brady was with the Patriots, he would restructure his deals almost every other year to bring in a free agency, and he was getting paid less than market value, right? Even when he was winning Super Bowls and they were really good, he's never been the highest paid quarterback,
right?
But he was legitimately maybe the top guy for a while, winning Super Bowls. But he would restructure his deal to like make sure Rob Gronkowski got signed or bring in Randy Moss, right? But in basketball, I feel like you don't see it as much, right? But Tim Duncan, you saw that with him with the Spurs. You didn't hear about the Spurs paying. I mean, he made great money, but it wasn't like Kevin Garnett money, because he understood. Okay, why we want to keep Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, Robert Horry. We need to bring in a guy, maybe, right? So, David Robinson. Make sure he gets some money when Tim Duncan was younger. But like in basketball, I feel like it's just there's so much money and everybody wants it. And not enough guys are taking what I call like the Tom Brady or Tim Duncan approach. Okay, hold up. All right, you got how much to spend? We got $200 million or whatever it is as a team. All right, well, if you give me too much of that, that's great for me, but you're not going to be able to pay anybody else. And if you do pay somebody, it might only be on a 1-year deal. So then that's all the pressure of us winning it on that 1 year. It's hard to do. So
yeah, I think, and it goes back to the loyalty thing, because if you are loyal and you really trust the ownership, and you think the ownership is really out to help you and help the team, I could see working together in that business mentality of, like with Tim Duncan done for many years, a restructuring deal to get more players, and then you see the results of getting quality players. So the trust is there. But I think in most scenarios, a player is basically I wouldn't call it an independent contractor, but even a mercenary, a business person. Like I got to make as much money as possible in each stop. And should I care about the other person? Yeah, we're moving the team, but in terms of making as much money, like you said, generational wealth, like Damian Lillard has enough money for several generations.
Yep.
You kind of like, basketball, you're only here until you in your mid-30s and you're out.
If you're lucky, yeah, most guys aren't playing into their, like LeBron playing 18, 19 years. That's not normal.
He's a robot.
It's different. I mean, he spends $1 million or $2 a year on his body, the nutritionist and weight, that's not normal, right?
No.
But, I think, so let me ask you a question. Would you, you're in the NBA, right? And you're 30 years old. So you're maybe in the middle of your career, but maybe at the end. You got 4 or 5 good years left, Hannibal, that you can play at a good level. But you're 30, you signed one good contract already, right? And now you're going into your second contract, or second or third, let's say. You're on a team that's, makes the playoffs, but you're not like a front runner, right? You got a couple pieces around you. You guys been in the playoffs, you haven't won a chip yet. And you're eligible to get a $200 million contract for 4 years, 5 years. So you figure, okay, after this contract, I'm probably not getting another big one. This is my last big payday, right. 200 mil. Do you take that 200 mil for 4 or 5 years? Or do you take 150 million and with that for the same amount of time, so $50 million less. But with that 50 million, they could sign another guy that would really, expedite the process of you maybe winning a championship. What would you do in that situation?
I mean, right now, me being like I said, 30 years old, I'm probably taking all that money. Like, I think the problem, not the problem, when you're young and you got your entire family to take care of, everyone's looking up to you, your dumbass relatives asking you for money to invest in these stupid restaurants that probably not going to work, or their rapping career. You're trying to figure like, okay, how, and then also if you're good with your money, like if my mentality now into that 30-year-old person, I would take less money because I know if I win championships, that there's other value in that. Being a champion, it's other opportunities open up. When you're an NBA champion, you can do whatever you want. But with these young cats out here, the way they spend their money, I mean, you see how John Morant is. He's at he has the summer league games. Icy jewels all out, probably 5 figures on his wrist, 5 figures around his neck. Probably the cars. You see the cars they drive. You see Durant in a probably $300,000 vehicle. Mm-hmm. You're spending a lot of money. You're spending a whole lot of money, and that's why a lot of them go broke after a few years. You're spending too much money. So your idea is going to take the max deal, not necessarily thinking about the winning. So that's what I'm thinking. In my 30-year-old brain, like I was still felt like I was in my 20s. Like I still like a child at 30 years old.
So you're saying you take the 200 million versus the
probably. Like I'm being honest with myself. At that age, where first of all, everyone's going to tell you to take it. Your family's going to tell you to take it. Your agent is going to tell you to take it. Like Also, same thing with baseball. You're supposed to take the biggest contracts because it helps everybody else out. So even your players, your unions, and your people like. That's why everyone's mad with the NFL deal with Deshaun Watson. Yeah. It was like, why the hell did Cleveland Browns give that guy guaranteed money? So now everyone else is waiting. Lamar Jackson is like, listen, I ain't touched nobody. I've been weird. You better give me. So all these other so these owners hate the Cleveland Browns because you just open up a Pandora's box of giving guaranteed money.
There's a trickle effect. Yeah. So
there's a lot of responsibility of taking the most money. Because it helps everyone else out. Because now they can reference so-and-so got this much money. So
it sets the market. The big guys set the market pace, especially in football, because it's especially there, I think. But that's interesting.
Would you turn down $50 million? Like, 150. You got 150.
Honestly, I think it's tough to say you turn down 50 million, but I want to challenge you in one regard. Still got 150 million. So anything I can buy with 150, I can get with 200, right? Like literally any car I want, any house. So that 50 million, that's a lot of money, but it's not. It might set up an extra generation here or there, but if I'm good with my money and I got good business people around me, and if I look like, okay, you know what, we need to get some pieces. I want to win a championship or two. That's, because that sets me up for more money opportunities even down the line. It just, opens up maybe a door or two. Plus, you're a champion. Like that's for some guys that might get them in or out of the Hall of Fame. That's a whole nother thing. So I don't know. I guess it,
Are you talking? But you're talking in terms of your mindset now, or when you were 30? What would you do when you were 30?
Oh, I want the whole bag. I want the whole bag. I want your bag.
Because ego too is like, yo, I got to pay because it's a fraternity, right?
Sure. So you want to be the highest paid dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I got more money than you did. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know how they super competitive. So it's just so many elements. You just wish that if you knew a young basketball player, and you would talk to him like, that is not worth it. You regret that 10 years when you could have done something special and you only had the money and you don't blow your money now. I love Marshawn Lynch. He didn't spend not one game check. All he spent was his endorsement money. He still got his money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it also depends on, I think, how good are you? Because to me, we're talking about like ego and like I'm the highest paid guy. But to me, in professional sports, the ultimate flex, there's a couple guys, and it's only a couple. So, it's very rare, right? So I think you have to be also self-aware, like, okay, where do I stand? How good am I? How good is this team? Who else do we have? How's my ownership group? How important is it to me to win a chip? Because to me, the ultimate flex is somebody like LeBron, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's got 7 Super Bowls. He went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? So I think there are certain guys, and he brought a lot of free agents with him, right? And LeBron, he's basically a GM, right? Like he can bring and pick pieces, and
he wanted Westbrook.
He wanted Westbrook, didn't work. He brought Dwayne Wade to the Cavaliers, J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony to the Lakers. Like he's going to take care of his boys and see who he wants around him. Like, and I think it's done pretty good for him. He's won 4 championships. He went to 8 championships in a row. Like in this salary cap era, you got to tip your cap to that. He went to 8 definitely. Championships in a row. So to me, the ultimate flex is like winning and getting money, because most of these guys, LeBron James makes more off the basketball court than he does on it.
Definitely.
Michael Jordan made more off it than on it. So when you win, it opens up those endorsements, man, and it opens up doors to get bigger bags, right? So I think it's one thing to get that $200 million on the court. That's fantastic. But even look at somebody like Draymond Green. He wants to be a billionaire. He's openly said it, and he's not somebody that's getting max deals. But Draymond will probably make, I'm going to call it out right now, he'll probably make the same, if not more, off the court with some podcast deals, his investments. So I think looking at money, like I think a lot of these guys that are smart are going to make more off the court. And that's, so I might take less. If I'm 30, I'm taking 200 million. But like if I'm 40 years old, like I am now, it's like, I want to take less so I can win, so I can do other things.
You're delaying gratification. You're thinking ahead.
Sure.
But also you gotta trust your ownership. You gotta trust the GM. So like if you really trust them that they're gonna bring the right pieces, because I think that's what Tim Duncan had. He had a Hall of Fame coach and a great GM. I think his name R.C. Buford. I forgot the name of the GM.
The Buford family or something. Yeah.
So he trusted them wholeheartedly. Like, I'll take this less money because I know they're gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
Whether if you New York Knicks, hey, can you take less money so we can build a team? Hell no, you guys are idiots. I won't take.
Yeah.
Well,
the Spurs drafted extremely well. So you just had like it's a whole nother vibe.
If I'm in the Spurs, I'm like, they got this. Yeah, they know. They'll find some guy from, I don't know, Sevilla or something like that.
Tony Parker from France.
Comes
from France to play basketball.
Ginobili
from Argentina.
He finds his way to a basket. He get a bucket. You're like, how did he even do that? Was he traveling? I don't know how. So
Euro step, baby. Yeah.
It's the basically the trust in everything that I'm making the best decision. So no hate for Damian Lillard. He's still a great player. Bradley Beal, great player. Hopefully, we'll see how the Wizards are doing. I forgot they had Kyle Kuzma. I like Kyle Kuzma. They blew up that Lakers team to get AD.
Yeah, I know, right?
It makes sense. They got their ring. Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about your boy John Morant right now?
It's a good segue. You mentioned him earlier. So give the people a little bit of what's going on, man. You could convey that of what's going on better than I can, and then I'll jump in and give my extremely. I'll rant about it, but I want to let you give the people the nice little segue.
Okay. So let me set up. So John Morant was, I would say for the playoffs, a lot of his personality is really starting to show. He always had it, very confident, dancing. He'll dance on the court, but he's backing it up. He was a second overall pick, and a really good draft class. I wish the Knicks had him. We were third.
You took Barrett.
And I like RJ Barrett.
You took Barrett, right? Okay.
Barrett last year finally to a point where he's actually, I don't know if he'll ever be the number one or anything, but I think he's an all-star kind of player. He's a good player. He do a little bit of everything.
He's not John Morant, though.
No, he's not. Zion, John Morant, RJ Barrett, all good players, but Zion, if he's healthy, and John Morant, I think he's probably the better of all three, just because Zion is too big. I don't think he'll stay healthy. So he's next level player, very confident guy. And he had an interview on Bleacher Report with Taylor Works. I think I pronounced her name right. Mm-hmm. Fine woman. Fine.
Some people are saying that they got a little thing going on or something. There's some chemistry.
He could have been bragging. We'll go with what he said. He could have been flexing on it. Listen, I could do that. Great personality, great interviews. Actually, I'll probably put the whole interview, the link in the description. It's on YouTube. Really nice interview. And the start of the talk, and we're actually going to show it. It's about a minute and change. So I don't know if you want to watch that first before
let's watch it, and then let's watch it.
Yeah. So let's set the background. They're talking about the last All-Star game where they did the NBA top 75 players, and she asks him, "Did you talk to MJ?" And that's kind of starts because, John Morant was an all-star player. And he was looking at the other all-stars and some that actually was able to be on the NBA 75 team. And that's how the conversation starts. So let's jump in real quick, and then we'll have Pedro responds right after.
What did Michael Jordan say to you? Did you meet him?
I actually didn't see him.
Oh, no.
And he was walking, but he was having a conversation. And I was actually going back to the locker room. Well, I was actually coming out of the locker room when I seen him. And it was, you got to go warm up. The game about to start back. So I didn't want to interrupt his conversation, and I had to, do my job. So it was kind of tough.
Okay, but if you could have talked to Michael Jordan in that moment, what would you have said?
Thank you. I feel like he, the reason a lot of people, want to play the game of basketball. To even, be there with him is, something I didn't see myself doing, as a kid, but having that opportunity to be there and, talk to him, introduce myself, and, just have that conversation with him. I don't know what I would have said, but
yeah,
I wish I played in his generation, though.
Yeah. You wish you would have played in his generation?
Yeah.
Why?
I heard he was like just how he, go about the game, just that mindset he had. Mm-hmm. I would like to, play against him. So.
Yeah. This time you're not saying, I would have cooked her.
I would have cooked him too.
You would have cooked Michael Jordan?
Man, nobody got more confidence than 12.
Right. No, that's what you're supposed to say. I get it.
As you should. Yeah. I'm never gonna go and say nobody gonna beat me in one-on-one or anything.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, what sport it is, soccer. Who the best player in soccer? Come on, we can play.
Okay, all right. So I will say two things before you jump in.
Okay.
First of all, if a woman like Taylor Rooks is smiling at me, I probably say all types of ridiculous stuff. I'm like, listen, I can fight. I can fight Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I can beat him up 2 minutes. Like, yeah, whatever you want. You want to hang out? Like,
yeah, that's a fine,
very fine woman.
Very and articulate and smart and
super sweet. And she's smiling in his face, so he's like,
yeah, man,
yeah, I could cook him too.
Yeah, I could tell she's lean. Yeah, I mean, Taylor Rooks is like, could you like walk on water? I might be like, you got some water around here?
Yeah,
I can probably walk on water.
And then the next thing, he is 22 years old.
Yeah, facts.
So go ahead.
All right, listen, I like Ja Morant a lot. I like his game. I like his swag. I like guys dancing on the court. Is it the gritty that the kids do?
Yeah,
yeah. I like it. I think it's good. It's entertainment. I think I love guys that are confident, especially in basketball. I think when you're playing that kind of game, and this kid he's basically, he's taller than me by a couple inches, but he's a small dude. Like Ja Morant, if he walks in this house right now, I'm not intimidated by him, but the dude's got bunnies. He jumps out the gym. It's amazing. And when he puts guys on posters and he's dancing, I love it. I love it. He is must watch NBA. Him and Definitely. Steph Curry, like one or two interchangeable. Like you want to watch like entertainment. That's it. He reminds me of Allen Iverson a lot. He's got the Allen Iverson swag, But Ja Morant, listen, you're 22, you got this money. I saw things. Big checks. Yeah. He just signed. I think before that interview, he had just signed. I mean, I love it. I like his dad. I like his dad. His dad's at the game. Like I like the Morant family. Yeah. So I need to say that first because I don't want to dog this, young man, right? I'm old enough to be his dad, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, nobody is cooking Michael Jordan one-on-one. So it's almost funny that he said it. I think it's cool he's paying homage. I love to play versus MJ, that era, that competitive, because he's that guy. He wants to convey that. I get it. Memphis is an upcoming team. He's the leader of that team. I get what he's doing. But you can't, okay, if he would have said like, yeah, I'll cook LeBron or a current player, or something, I can cook Westbrook or these, I think these young generation, a lot of these guys like looked up to Kobe or LeBron first because these guys are young. Ja Morant playing basketball, Michael Jordan's not a thing. He's looking at highlights. Michael Jordan for I think it was, 7 consecutive years, led the league in scoring. He took a hiatus, then came back, led the league again. So he had 10 or 11 scoring titles. But what people don't remember, because he's talking about playing one-on-one, Ja Morant's like, I'll beat anybody one-on-one. Michael Jordan was 10 or 11 team all-NBA first team, defensive. Okay, Ja Morant's a smaller guy than Jordan. So he's not cooking MJ. MJ was a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Ja Morant can dunk over guys, but Ja Morant ain't some dude that's got a great jump shot. He's not going to he might cross him up here and there, but he's not cooking Michael Jordan. So at some point, you got to understand the GOAT is the GOAT, and that is Michael Jordan. You got to give a little respect, but I get this young generation's like, they want to, the swag is on high level. It's the same with the rap guys, like you got to convey that swag. If you make a rap song, you got to be like, I'm the guy, I'm the GOAT, I'm the best. I got all the girls, I got the money, I got the bling. It's part of the culture, but listen, Ja Morant, I don't think he might, if they play the 10 and Jordan gets the ball first, Ja Morant's not touching the ball.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you think Ja Morant will even score a point on MJ?
If Ja Morant got the ball first, yeah, absolutely, he can get a bucket on him, like no problem. But Ja Morant's not built like Michael Jordan either. So I think, and he's not built like Kobe Bryant. Like this guy. I have another
question, real quick. Do you think he would win a one-on-one with Kobe?
Hell no. No way. There's no way. He wouldn't win a one-on-one versus LeBron. I think we got to go down a couple levels.
KD,
he wouldn't. He wouldn't beat Kyrie Irving one-on-one. Kyrie Irving has crazy more handles. Yeah. Kyrie Irving's a little bigger. So I think he's overreaching a little bit. But when you just signed $200 million deal, you're the man. You're the man. You walk into an interview, dude's got a plain white T-shirt. He's got the tats hanging out. He's feeling himself. I get it. Yeah. No hate, all respect, but calm down a little bit. You're in a room with a beautiful young lady. There's obviously chemistry there. I get it. You're trying to get a date. You're trying to, but slow down, Ja Morant. Just slow down a little bit. Ja Morant is Allen Iverson. I think there's a lot of comparables. Allen Iverson's a Hall of Famer, but Ja Morant has not been in this league that long. He's got to pump the brakes a little bit. So
some of the criticism, or not criticism, some of the, I guess, the idea of like, well, you know, Iverson did cross up MJ a few times, so he may have a problem with a faster guard, like speedy guards.
Okay.
So like that could be possible, but that's a difference between a one-on-one and a team sport. Team sport, yeah, Ja Morant could probably have a good game in a team. I mean, a lot of things are happening, but one-on-one is a whole different level. It's a different game, basically.
It's a whole different game because you can't use all your tools in your toolbox. You know, you can't when you're one-on-one, you're not passing to anybody, you're not rebounding. Like Michael Jordan, I mean, Ja Morant's not going to dunk on Michael Jordan like that because there's the space isn't floored on a one-on-one. It's just different. So yeah, he needs to. And
think about MJ. He lived for one-on-one, especially if you talk stuff. Oh, curse.
Forget about it.
Sorry, you talk shit. Talking about I could beat you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a story. I forgot this player. He never really amounted to anything. I mean, obviously an NBA player, but
OJ Mayo.
But it was one. I think it was someone that was either on the team, the Charlotte Hornets, and he was talking about how he could beat him. And this is when MJ was already retired.
Oh, okay.
And MJ said, okay, and beat him one-on-one.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Okay, obviously, what is Michael? Mike's got to be pushing 60.
Let me look it up right now.
What is he? 58, something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
55 at least.
59.
50. Okay, so he's pushing 60. Right now, Michael Jordan could get a bucket or two on Ja Morant right now. Right now.
A bucket or two.
A bucket or two right now. So you tell me Michael Jordan at 22 was that guy. Gold chains, dunk contest. I mean, Michael Jordan would put it on Ja Morant. If they're equal age, there's no way.
Because, Michael Jordan's level of competitiveness to a point where people don't think he's a nice guy. Like, he's not a nice guy. He's actually a little bit of a weirdo because he's so competitive.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't let his kids win games, like little games when they played. I saw an interview about that. Like, the lived is kind of like, he could have done this, which is great, being an NBA Hall of Famer, greatest player ever lived, or like a dictator somewhere. Like, his level of intensity. And and to be honest, I think MJ probably liked that out of Ja Morant.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it out of Ja Morant. I don't hate it at all. I think you got to have that competitive. You got to walk that walk, especially when you're the leader of your team and you're up and coming, you're young. But like I think he did it for effect. He's being interviewed by Taylor. I think if you're interviewing him, Hannibal, he ain't saying that. Like, you know,
Taylor kind of not set him up, but she's like, well, because during the I guess I forgot to say this, during the previous interviews, he was like, I'm gonna cook this, I'm gonna cook that, talking about other situations, other players. So she kind of said, well, you wouldn't cook him. Like, she kind of like, but you're not gonna say you're gonna cook MJ. He's like, I'll cook him too. It's like, he didn't just come out so that's like the reason why I put the whole kind of clip there, because I think a lot of people just assume he just started saying, I could beat him
on his own. Like, he said it on his own. Like,
context is important. But I think MJ would look at that like, cool. Yeah.
I don't think MJ.
Kobe had the same kind of like, I could be anyone. And MJ first thought it was annoying. Like, what are you talking about? But then eventually you were like, oh no, this kid is for real.
See, I think you're right. And I think that when you're at that level of competitiveness and you're that good, there is a mutual respect. Like, okay, we're going to go back and forth. But Ja Morant ain't Kobe. He's not there yet. I don't know. I don't know if he will. I don't think. I think what we love about Ja Morant. I think we need to pump the brakes a little. Now, obviously, he's NBA. Like, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think there's some of the mystique with him is the swag that he carries, the dancing. Kids like that, like, it's a thing, right? His image, his look. He's got all that. He looks like a rapper, right?
Yeah.
His dunking, the way he dunks on guys. He puts guys on posters, and he's a small dude. He's fearless. Like, I love that. But his game, I mean, I don't know. I think he's very flashy, but he's not a guy.
I him at 6'3". His height, 6'3". Skinny dude. it's not. Yeah, I think like you said,
he's Allen Iverson.
1-on-1. LeBron. What Jordan? 6'6"?
6'6". I didn't even think Morant was that tall, so I didn't even think he had him at 6'3". But I just don't.
You know how NBA listed heights, it could be.
So he's probably 6'1" or something.
It could be 6'2". Like how tall Iverson was really.
Yeah.
I like the confidence. I wish I had him. I mean, again, I like RJ Barrett. I think hopefully they re-sign him. This is how embarrassing the Knicks are. I know we're gonna talk about the Knicks, but this is how embarrassing. Last time they actually signed their rookie, who it was.
Like, what do you mean sign a rookie
after the rookie deal? After they got their rookie deal and re-signed.
Give me a minute. Has it been a while? Let's give me that. Has it been
a long time?
Patrick Ewing?
Oh, not that long.
Oh, okay. Rookie deal.
Another decade over though.
Man, rookie.
You may not even know who this player is because it's kind of like a local guy.
I'm sure I know the guy, but Eddie. No, who was it?
There was a player called Charlie Ward.
I know Charlie Ward. He played bad. He played a football at Florida State.
Heisman
quarterback
too.
Heisman, yeah.
That's the last time after a rookie deal ended, they re-signed their rookie. That's how long ago it was.
That's a shame, man. That tells you everything about your ownership group and the management skills.
Exactly. So
bad drafting.
You 30 years old and you're about to get your last bag, your last big check, and then James Dolan wallow his dumb ass to you and say, "Oh, you just take a little bit of a break and take a 10, 50 million cut so we can sign some better plays." Like, go F yourself, Dolan. You're lucky I'm still here. Taxes are out the roof. The crime is high. You want me to to do what?
Yeah.
Go back, go back to back 8th seeds in the playoffs. Yeah. So it's a different thing. But we'll see this season. He's one of like you said, one of my favorite players to check out.
I like him. I think he's got a really good. I loved him at Duke. I don't know how him and Zion didn't win that NCAA. Like, that was wild. But because they played together at Duke. But I like his game a lot. I do. I think he's gotten better. The Knicks, a couple years ago, Randall had a great year. Like, Barrett. And then they kind of took a step back this year, which was kind of odd to me, but we'll see. We'll see.
I know we only have a few minutes left. We got one more story to jump into, but I tell you, I got a lot to say about Randall. The guy only can go left. I'll just say, he only go left. That's it. Just don't go left. He can't do anything. Anyway,
and I think the NBA that year, the guys that were guarding him were like, "Whoa, what's going?" He worked out a lot, but then they caught up to him, and he came back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, you can't go right. Anyway. Actually, we this podcast is mainly about hip hop, but this is more of a there's a lot of things happening in the NBA free agency.
Yeah,
and we're still going to figure out what KD and Kyrie are going to go. So we're going to go shift it back and end it with hip hop, and also we're going to be bringing it back to Cardi B. So actually, you want to talk about the Brittany Grinder thing, or?
Let's,
that's a long conversation too.
That's a long conversation, man. I think the Brittany Griner we need to talk about on a separate. That's a lot. I think it's a lot. I think that can go into a lot of facets. So let's give that to
maybe something else. Yeah, maybe some more updates come out.
Yes,
so that'll be one of the things we'll talk about in the next episode. I don't want to go speed that through because it's a very complex issue with a lot of back and forth. So we'll tail at it for next episode. So let's do the Cardi B thing because it's more of we have to do some house cleaning, housekeeping. So if you checked out our last one of our episodes where we broke down the Rolling Stone's top 200 greatest rap albums of all time, and if you check out the episode, we spend a quite amount of time talking about Cardi B debut album Invasion of Privacy and how somehow this album was basically ranked 16th of all 200 of this is the greatest rap albums of all time, not year whatever. Yeah, Pedro's showing it right now.
There you go.
We trashed her or anything. We were very critical of Rolling Stones, not necessarily Cardi B.
Rolling Stone. So it's more on Rolling Stone, I think. But
yeah. And then I checked out the album when it first came. I thought, solid debut album. Like she can rap, she can perform. And then I think the next episode we talked about you listened to the album and you provide your thoughts as well.
And I was surprised, and I thought it was good album. I thought she came hard in the beginning. Great first track. She had a couple songs in there that I thought I didn't remember, but I remembered. I thought it had some good club bangers. I thought it was a good album. Not 16, but a really, really, really solid debut album. I thought she put a lot of emotion in it. Great. It's a good album, but it's not 16. So that was,
Yeah. So when the Rolling Stones decide to put Nas Illmatic 24,
oh Lord,
and then Cardi B 16th, and I think she was ahead of Lil Wayne, the Carter 3,
a lot of albums,
Dr. Dre, the Chronic. It didn't make any sense. And Cardi B finally responded to it. She was on a podcast with, I think, Angela Lee. She does the Breakfast Club in New York City, big radio station show. So we're going to show a clip. It's about 45 seconds of her response to the Rolling Stone list. Let's start right now.
I understand that people feel a certain type of way, but don't try to disrespect me or my work or my album because your mother was listening to my shit. Mm-hmm. Your bitch was driving to you. Your bitch was driving, listening to fucking Be Careful. Or all y'all bitches, all y'all hoes. So it's like, don't even try it. Like, of course they're gonna use a bitch like me, put it number 16 before Biggie because it's like it's gonna start a stir. So you try to set me up. You got my ass dragged on a fucking Tuesday for no reason. I understand where y'all coming from, because it
could just be genuine.
But at the end of the day, don't drag my shit. Don't be dragging my shit. Don't fucking disrespect my craft. Like, fuck out of here.
She is so entertaining.
She is. You know what she is? She is. I like some Cardi B. I like that she's herself. I mean, I give a lot of respect to her because she is who she is. Yeah. And she don't waver, so I like that.
Yeah, and I think even her having a self-awareness is like, y'all set me up. Like, why y'all put me on it? It's like I got dragged on a Tuesday for no reason. So everyone just hating on her. It's like, you don't have to disrespect my album. They did it. They put that there to set her up to, and that's why I think the list is officially trash. It's not worth mentioning.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
We'll talk about it because that was intentional. To bring people to, well, you didn't have to do that. Just be honest as possible. You're disrespecting the hip hop game and people who put
good point.
A lot of effort and time. Like the idea that you put Illmatic 24 is embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
You know what? I didn't think about that because I'm just not that bright. But obviously, it looks like the Rolling Stones. Nobody cares about the Rolling Stones, okay? No. Especially in the hip hop community, we don't give a fuck. Like, it don't matter.
No.
And what do? They got us to talk about them. They got thousands and thousands and millions of people to talk about them, right? Thousands of people to do a podcast or YouTube, and millions of people to watch it and have an opinion. So I'll give them a couple small little claps because they did their job.
Yeah.
But Cardi B made some points there, and I think they're valid. And I don't think there's something wrong with us saying, hold up, 16 and reacting.
Yeah.
But when you make a list or you make any kind of content or whatever, you want people to react. So for me, I almost look at that list as like clickbait a little bit. We use that term in YouTube. Super clickbaity. And, just poor Cardi B. I'll give her respect. Cardi B, I apologize if I ever see you in the streets. Nothing but love. You're looking good. I like what you're doing. And she knows she's not 16. I think she understood that.
She understood it, but
she knows it.
But I guess she was like, that's what she kept saying. She said, so you guys have set me up. Like, why would y'all put me on that? Give me dragged for no reason. Yeah. So the dragging is like, people say, well, the album is trash. Like, that the album is not trash. It's not trash.
Not trash.
It's just not where it belongs to be. And then she got caught in a crossfire. So I respect her. She's always very candid about everything. She don't double. Like, some people just double down. Like, my album deserved to be up there. Like, no, she realized. She's like, I can see y'all point. I can see what y'all coming from. Because she's from New York. Like, she's from the same culture. Look at these. Like, I think she had it wrong. She said Biggie, but Biggie was actually number one. But she knows the other albums that, especially New York, that your album didn't belong up there. And she understood that. But Rolling Stones suck. They got me once. Not gonna get me again. Not gonna get me again.
I almost feel like if they were smart, they should do a revision to that and make it even worse, just so people can be even more angry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like make a top. Oh, this is a revised. We're gonna revise our top 20 and just put in like a couple trash albums in the top 20, like Jack Harlow or some shit, and then really get the people talking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, people would burn the magazine.
Oh, they would. Yeah,
yeah. It's not a hip hop publication. It's a rock. Their rock list. No one argues because the people who are there actually listen to rock music. I don't know who they were listening to this hip hop stuff. So they left their element, and that's just, I guess that's the way it goes. But on that note, we just hit an hour pretty fast. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh man, there was other things to talk about. But next week is going to be a really heavy episode.
Let's talk about next week real quick. Yeah.
So Brittany Griner, we're going to talk about that. And I also have a theory on why men and women are not getting along anymore. I have a theory of why we just...
You're gonna crack that code? I mean,
I'm gonna crack the code.
Oh shit.
I don't know if you guys watch YouTube. I don't know if you watch, like the old, Kevin Samuels passed away, but that kind of content, and then also women, and they always seem like everyone just arguing with each other. Everyone's fighting, and everyone's upset, and we're not getting along anymore. I mean, I think marriage rates are down. I think people are having less kids. It's a lot of things happening. And I think I figured out why. And it is music related, obviously. That's why we're talking about it. But we're going to talk about that in the next episode. Yeah, the Brittany Griner stuff. And we'll see what happens with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I'm sure nothing. You know what? I'm a guess.
You're going to think something's going to happen in the next 7 days?
Yeah.
I think so. I think so too. I think something's going to happen.
League, they got a lot of the GMs are there.
Yeah.
They want to move on from this. Kevin Durant is not communicating. Kyrie is not communicating with the team. It's a lot going on. I think by next Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever, someone will be moved. One of them, at least.
Yeah, I can see that. And I'm looking forward to next week, y'all. So be ready. Talk a little Brittany Griner, like Hannibal said. Talk about the men and women and why people aren't getting along. Hannibal cracked the code, so I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. And you know what? You mentioned Kevin Samuel. Maybe we should give him a little time next week. I think, we talk about what we think about him, his views. I think that could make for some good content. So let's add the Kevin Samuels. R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah,
for those who don't know, he passed away about a month ago, and maybe we can bring that up as well. So
yeah, I think it's all interconnected. I mean, I think it's happening. I think last 2 years has been really hard for everybody, but I have an idea of how it can come back, how we can bring the love back together. All right, so we're going to talk about that next week.
Nice.
It's going to be kind of crazy, but, we're going to have a great time. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch or listen to the podcast. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Share it. You think we talking and it makes sense? Let everyone else know. Like, hey, I listen to these two goofballs. Like, they are kind of entertaining. Let someone else check out the podcast and the YouTube channel. Yeah. And on that note, enjoy the rest of your week. See you guys next week.
Deuces.
Peace.